Welcome to a forgotten epoch in Australia's vast prehistory, where the land was ruled not by man, but by monsters. Among the most fearsome of these was the Quinkana, a land-dwelling crocodile whose reign of terror is etched into the geological annals of the Pleistocene. With relentless precision, this creature hunted its prey, utilizing its uniquely adapted long legs, which allowed it to move swiftly across the terrain, instilling fear and commanding respect from all who shared its world. Unlike any crocodile we know today, this beast combined the ferocity of a top predator with the mysterious aura of a creature from a dark, almost mythical past. Prepare yourself as we rewind the clock over 40,000 years to walk alongside the mighty Quinkana. Our journey will uncover the chilling realities and the thrilling tales of survival in an Australia where humans were not yet the dominant force. Picture a crocodile unlike any seen today. This ancient giant, measuring up to 6 meters in length, prowled the Australian landscape on long, muscular legs built for speed and endurance. The Quinkana was a terror to behold, ruling its territory with a mix of raw power and cunning agility. Adapted to a life of predation on land, its evolutionary path diverged significantly from its aquatic cousins. The Quinkana didn't rely on water to ambush its prey. Instead, it chased down its meals with relentless determination, its mouth bristling with sharp, blade-like teeth designed for slicing rather than gripping. As we explore the life of the Quinkana through the evidence left behind in fossils, we begin to understand the true nature of this formidable predator. It was a master of its domain, capable of outrunning and outmaneuvering the other giant mammals, birds, and reptiles of its time. In this primordial theater of survival, early humans, newcomers to the ancient land, found themselves amidst creatures of mythic proportions. The formidable Quinkana, with its imposing size and predatory prowess, was perhaps the most terrifying of all the giants they encountered. With keen senses honed over millennia, the Quinkana was not just another predator, it was a master of ambush on land. Its long, muscular legs allowed it to sprint with lethal speed, turning it into a silent assassin of the prehistoric bushland. For early humans, each day was a gamble against death, a constant battle of wits and will against a backdrop of lurking dangers. As they adapted to their new environment, these pioneering humans quickly learned to decipher the signs of Quinkana presence. Tracks, disturbed foliage, and the remnants of meals were all clues that helped them steer clear of certain peril. Their survival depended on understanding the rhythms of this apex predator's life, when it hunted, where it rested, and how it killed. Armed only with primitive tools, sharp stones, sturdy branches, and the first rudimentary spears, these early Australians began to devise strategies to defend themselves. They knew they could not outrun the Quinkana, so they turned to greater numbers and collective vigilance. Night watches became routine, and the construction of makeshift barriers and high sleeping platforms became their first architectural innovations in response to the Quinkana threat. The night brought its own terrors. The darkness was not silent, filled instead with the sounds of nocturnal hunts and the occasional terrifying scream of a Quinkana's prey. Fires were kept burning throughout the night, their flickering flames a meager but vital defense against the darkness and its monsters. But the Quinkana was not the only giant these early humans faced. The land was roamed by other formidable megafauna, giant marsupials, massive birds, and other strange and colossal creatures that we can now only imagine. Each of these beasts posed their own challenges, and together they shaped the evolution of human tactics and technologies. Encounters with the Quinkana were sometimes inevitable. These were moments of sheer terror and adrenaline, where every decision could mean the difference between life and death. Stories of narrow escapes, of bravery and tragedy, began to weave into the fabric of human culture, passed down through generations as stark reminders of their fraught coexistence with the Quinkana. Over time, these early inhabitants began to leave their own mark on the landscape. Controlled use of fire to manage bushland, create clearings, and drive game into traps showed an emerging mastery over their environment, a transformation from prey to protagonists in their own right. This dance of danger and ingenuity between humans and the Quinkana is a powerful testament to human resilience and adaptability. It underscores a time when our ancestors were not the dominant force they are today, but just another player on the stage of a wild and untamed Australia, fighting every day to survive among giants. As the wheels of time turned, the world of the Quinkana began to undergo profound transformations. The landscapes that once provided plentiful hunting grounds were slowly reshaped by the forces of nature, marking the beginning of an inexorable march toward extinction. The Earth's climate, ever volatile, entered a period of significant cooling and drying known as the last glacial maximum. Vast ice sheets expanded, sea levels dropped, and the lush habitats that supported diverse life forms, including the Quinkana, began to diminish. The once abundant water sources that dotted the landscape turned into sparse, isolated pools. The Quinkana, a creature adapted to a rich and diverse ecosystem, found its food sources dwindling. The large mammals, birds, and reptiles it once preyed upon were either adapting to the changing conditions or facing their own struggles for survival. The intricate balance of predator and prey was tilting, leading to a precarious existence for the top predators. Not only did the climate challenge the Quinkana, but emerging human populations were also becoming more adept at managing their environments. Armed with increasingly sophisticated tools and techniques, humans were no longer just prey, but were reshaping the ecosystems to better suit their needs. These early Australians used fire to manage bushlands, creating clearings to attract and hunt smaller game, which inadvertently reduced the habitats available for the larger megafauna. The Quinkana, with its need for extensive territories to hunt and thrive, was squeezed into ever smaller areas, corners of the continent where life was becoming untenable. The stage was set for a quiet exit from the world stage. Without fanfare, the once mighty Quinkana faced the inevitable. As the millennia passed, the last of these great predators disappeared, leaving behind only their bones as silent testimonies to their reign. The discovery of these fossils centuries later at sites like Bluff Downs in Queensland has provided crucial clues to the Quinkana's life and disappearance. Each bone, each fragment tells a story of adaptation, survival, and ultimately, extinction. The reasons behind their disappearance continue to intrigue and challenge scientists, sparking debates that intertwine climatic changes, human impact, and the natural cycles of life and death. Some experts suggest that it was a combination of climate change and human pressure that led to the Quinkana's extinction. Others argue that the changing climate alone would have been enough to seal their fate. Whatever the combination of factors, the disappearance of the Quinkana marked a significant moment in Australia's ecological history, reshaping the food chains and ecosystems that had flourished for thousands of years. As we reflect on the story of the Quinkana, we are reminded of the fragile interdependence of all life forms. The extinction of a single species can have cascading effects, altering habitats and the fate of numerous other species within the ecosystem. Though the roar of the Quinkana has long since faded into the whispers of the wind, its legacy endures, challenging us to understand our past and its implications for our ecological future. This expanded segment aims to provide a comprehensive and poignant look at the factors contributing to the Quinkana's extinction, weaving together environmental changes and human influences into a narrative of ecological transformation and loss. Let's indulge in a thought experiment. Imagine modern-day Australia, but with the Quinkana still lurking in the bushland, a hidden apex predator in a world vastly different from its own time. How would we cope with the presence of such a creature? Would our cities and towns be fortified against a predator that could sprint across open land at terrifying speeds? The very idea sends shivers down the spine, reminding us of the primal fear these creatures can still inspire. Today's climate, markedly different from that of the Pleistocene, presents challenges that the Quinkana has never faced. The modern world is warmer, with fluctuating weather patterns and extensively altered landscapes due to urban development and agriculture. For a creature like the Quinkana, which thrived in the expansive, wild territories of ancient Australia, the current fragmentation of habitats would pose a significant survival challenge. Its need for large territories to support its hunting lifestyle would clash dramatically with human settlements and the limited stretches of contiguous wilderness. Even if we consider the adaptability of its modern relatives, such as the saltwater crocodile, the Quinkana's survival strategy was distinctly different. Adapted for land rather than water, it would face competition not only from humans, but also from other terrestrial predators and a scarcity of suitable prey. Furthermore, the current trajectory of global warming would introduce additional stresses. Increased temperatures, altered rain patterns, and the frequency of extreme weather events could all impact the availability of suitable habitats and water sources, critical for cooling and survival. Although the Quinkana belongs to an era long past, its legacy lingers in the fossil records and the imaginations of those who study them. As a dark chapter in Australia's natural history, the Quinkana reminds us of nature's untamed power and the ever-changing dynamics of life on Earth. For now, the Quinkana exists only in our imaginations and the preserved remnants we uncover. But its story, a compelling narrative of survival, dominance, and extinction, continues to influence and inform our understanding of this ancient and wild continent. If you've been captivated by the tale of the ancient Quinkana and wish to explore more untold stories from Australia's wild and mysterious past, don't forget to subscribe to Untamed Australia. Join us as we continue to uncover the secrets of this incredible land and share more thrilling narratives from the natural world.